stool sit because supposedly, I guess, the fathers, they tend to faint. Hey everybody, so this is my second labor and delivery video. As you can see, I have a little one right here, little Miss Miya Kai. If you've seen my recent vlog, you know that I just had her 6 days ago, and this is my first time filming since having her. I was supposed to film the day that she was born, not knowing she was going to be born that day. I just literally nursed her right before this video started, so she's kind of knocked out right now. She might make little noises, but most likely she will be sleeping in my arms. I was due on July 18th, 2013. If you follow me, on this channel and my pregnancy vlogs, you guys already knew that. I gave birth to this little one at 37 weeks and 6 days, so just 1 day short of being 38 weeks pregnant, which anything after 37 weeks is considered full term. I just didn't really think that my kids would sporadically, I don't know, Ava didn't sporadically show up. She was induced at 38 weeks and then born 38 weeks in 1 day because I had really long labor for her. If you've seen Ava's labor and delivery video, which is my, firstborn daughter, she had a completely different labor. So definitely go watch that video over here before finishing this one up. Let me walk you guys through everything that was going on. So pretty much you can see that I'm in my new office right now. We were renovating the floors, painting the walls, mounting things, painting my old office, which is now the kids' room, and it was just a lot of stuff going on, and I really don't think that is that important to say. I don't think it really added to my labor or anything like that. But if this little girl could have just waited 2 more days, everything would have been so much better, setup wise for her. And because of the whole we were supposed to be moving and then we might not be moving thing and then all that stuff, it pretty much made me have to do things really last minute with her, which I hated. I went to sleep typically when I usually do, around 1, 2 a.m. Ava's already asleep, Hun Bun was already asleep, and I went to sleep at about 2:30 a.m. July 3rd. I'm sleeping, not feeling any different, not assuming anything's gonna happen, knowing that I could pretty much give birth any second. Nothing was really out of the ordinary for that night. So I went to sleep 2:30 after sitting around for 2 hours in the dark on my phone, just catching up with emails and stuff. And then at 3 o'clock, Ava, she was going through some teething because she's teething out her bigger teeth, and I had to give her some medicine for her teething, and then she went back to sleep. And by the time I went back to sleep, it was about 3:30, and then at about 4:30, just with another hour of sleep, I'm barely getting an hour between these little events, I woke up feeling like I really had a bad stomach ache, and it was just unbearable. Hey, someone's waving. Her little hands in the air. It was the worst pain ever, and I was like, oh, I really need to poop. That's exactly what I thought. I thought I really need to poop. So I'm sitting there aching on the toilet, and I was like, okay, there's no poop, there's nothing coming out. And I'm like, but I really feel like I need to poop. And then suddenly a light bulb goes off in my head. It's ding. That's what it feels like when you're giving birth. That's how everyone always describes it. Even though I've been through it before with Ava, I had epidural, so I really didn't get the urge of feeling like I needed to poop or something like that. When giving birth, I only felt pressure. And then I started timing my contractions on this little app that was on my iPhone, and I think it was just called Contractions. It has this little pink symbol. And I was timing them to see how far apart they were, because my doctor said, call in before going to the hospital if you have 5 or more painful contractions, at least an hour, that are painful. And they were about 4 minutes apart. It's steady 4 minutes. Every 4 minutes I got one, and it lasted a minute long, and it was painful, and it was increasingly painful. And I have a pretty high pain tolerance, so I was just like, yeah, this isn't normal. This is not a normal stomach ache. So I called in. They were like, okay, yeah, go to the hospital. I get to the hospital 30 minutes later, because I did pick a hospital that was a bit farther than me. I picked Virginia Hospital Center, which is where I originally wanted to give birth for Ava, but at the time my insurance didn't give birth there for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, so we had to drive 30 minutes there. Luckily, we beat rush hour traffic. If we did not beat rush hour traffic, I probably would have had the baby in the car, to be honest. But we got to the hospital, parked at the ER. We go in and we're like, yeah, Kaiser sent us over. Kaiser's my doctor company thing. And I was like, I'm having contractions 4 minutes apart. Second baby, and when you say second baby, they know that you're not playing, because they know that you most likely are in labor and that things can progress a lot faster when it's your second baby. So they were like, oh yeah, they threw me into the wheelchair right away and they start wheeling me up to labor and delivery. Now this is where it gets a little crazy, because the guy at the emergency room, he was just like, oh my god, this is so exciting. The one who's gonna pushed me up to labor and delivery in the wheelchair, he put on gloves and he was like, just in case you have the baby in the hallway. And I was like, in the hallway? And then he's just like, then he was all excited and was like, to be honest, I really want to deliver a baby like in the field. And in my head I'm like, you're in the hallway, dude, like down like 10 feet from where you sit all the time at your desk, like what the heck? And he's just like, he was just so excited. I was like, in my head I'm thinking, shouldn't you like start just walking faster to labor and delivery? Shouldn't you not hope that I pop the baby out in the wheelchair? Anyway, so then he was walking and he was getting lost on the way there. He's like, okay, this is where I get confused. I don't know if I go up the elevator or if I turn the corner. And he looked around the corner. He's like, I think I go up the elevator. He went up one more floor and then he was like, oh, here we are, we're in labor and delivery. I was like, thank God. This man doesn't even know where he's going. He wants to deliver my baby. It is a problem. So then I got to the check-in area. They checked me in really fast. Like, everything was moving super fast. Everyone was trying to get me in the system. I already pre-registered online and all that, so it wasn't too hard. But, you know, they had to get, like, all the security bands on me, get me IV'd up, get my blood work down to the lab, because they can't give me an epidural till the lab sends back up my blood work showing that I can get an epidural. And it was hectic. While I'm contracting like every 2 minutes now, pretty much, it's getting closer and closer, more painful. I was losing my mind. Like, it was already painful enough that in the car I barely could talk. And then when I was at the hospital, I was like, and everything's moving as fast as they possibly can. Like, no one really delayed anything except for that guy pushing the wheelchair. But then they checked how dilated I was. I was 8 centimeters dilated when I arrived to the hospital. My water did not break yet, so I didn't have that oh crap moment. But I had all the pain of it, and I was like, why doesn't my water ever break for either my kids? Man, they had to break Ava's water at like 7 centimeters dilated, and I was already at the hospital. And for Mia, I pretty much sat there kind of just like, where's my epidural? Oh my god, I want my epidural. And everyone's trying to get it for me. And everyone is kind of warning me that it might not kick in time. It might be easier just to pop the baby out. And I was like, well, what if I have to push for a long time? Like, I'd rather just get it. I'm so, like, I wanted my epidural. Because that was my birth plan. I planned to give birth with epidural. And I was like, crap. Like, I'm so far along. Some hospitals won't even give you the epidural if you're that far along, dilated-wise. So I was like, crap. So then I'm just contracting, and I'm starting to scream. And for Ava's, it was, like, completely different. Like, I was so peaceful and serene. I didn't scream once. I didn't feel a thing. I was so, like, oh, childbirth. Like, if you watch that video, I love the childbirth. After this video, you'll see why I don't. But I felt everything. I pretty much gave birth naturally, because at 9 centimeters dilated, they finally gave me my epidural. Like, they were finally able to give it to me. But the anesthesiologist seemed like an idiot. Like, so I keep contracting. I start screaming. I told the nurses in between, like, each scream that I am so sorry I'm being that chick. Because between the contractions, I was perfectly like this. Normal. Breathing. Whatever. But when the contractions hit, I was like, holy Jesus. And I'm like, shaking the side of the bed frame. I didn't want to really squeeze anyone's hand. I don't want to hurt anyone else just because I'm in pain. So I just shook the crap out of the bed. And I was just like, and eventually I started just screaming, help me, and like, it was bad. I was like, someone help me, anyone. I started begging for a C-section. Like, it was so bad. Even though I was so close to pretty much getting her out, like, I felt everything, the pain and the pressure, and the contractions were all a minute apart, so I barely got any rest in between to catch my breath. So at 9 centimeters, they asked me, do you want us to just break your water so you can push? It might just be easier to just get her out, because the epidural was not kicking in. They said it would take 15 minutes, and I was like, Like, it's not working. It's not working. And the anesthesiologist seemed like a dumb... So the dude who gave me my epidural, the anesthesiologist, just seemed dumb. Like, I hate to be mean to you, dude, but you just seem dumb. Like, it wasn't as foolproof as I would say. It should have been. Him and another anesthesiologist was arguing about how much they typically give in epidural, like what their preference is to give it for, because they can always add more. But I guess what he gave me at first was whatever 6'6" means. He was like, I like to go at 6'6", and the other dude was like, I like to go 8'4", and then he was like, should I give another dose of 6'6"? And then I was sitting there screaming like, why isn't it working? Because they already gave me some, you know, and it was not working at all. It was not kicking in, and I was like, man, this guy. I think he was just pissed at me because him and Hun Bun got in a little bit of an argument because he told Hun Bun like to sit down, and Hun Bun was like, no, I'm okay. Like they asked the dads if they want to sit, just because the needle can sometimes make the dad faint. It's a little overwhelming. And then he's like, no, I'm okay. I watched with our firstborn. He's like, I'll be fine. It's no problem. And he's like, sir, if you don't sit down, I'm not going to administer it. And like that pissed Hun Bun off. He's like, really? Kicked in. So at 9 centimeters, they asked me if they should just break my water and let me push the baby out. 'Cause I was screaming every minute, like almost karate kicking everyone in the face, like hoping the baby will come out, because I did not feel like I had the strength to push. My epidural was not kicking in. Everything hurt like crazy. I felt like I was dying. Like my body was gonna explode. And it was just so unbearable. It was the worst pain of my life. I started to push. The difference between Ava and Mia's labor is that Ava's labor, I didn't feel a thing, so I could actually count how many times I pushed. I pushed exactly 12 times. Ava was born. Miya, I know I didn't push that many times because I didn't have the strength to. I couldn't even keep my eyes open. I was in so much pain, I almost passed out. Like everything was a blur. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I started twitching. It was so bad. My eyes were shaking, and they kept telling me to open my eyes, and I was like, I can't open my eyes. My arms were numb. I was sweating. They had to put ice packs on my forehead because I was in that much pain. I've never been in that much pain before in my life, and I was just like thinking, why the heck does this expensive crap being the epidural not kick in yet? And I'm like, it's not going to kick in. I'm going to have to do this without the epidural, so this is going to suck. And I told him, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, because aside from the fear of the pain of tearing when the baby comes out, I could not get myself to, like, as they say, bear down and push the baby out. I was trying, but I didn't have the strength to. I was just so weak because of all the pain. And I have a high pain tolerance, so it's crazy. And I pushed probably about, I want to say less than 15 times, because I couldn't push that much. It was definitely under 20 pushes. And Miya, thank God, came out. I was waiting for them to say something like, oh, she has a lot of hair, like she's almost here, you know, like those things when she's getting close to coming out. I felt like I was pushing and nothing was happening because I was in so much pain between each contraction. There's one point where I flung my body up in the air and they had to kind of catch it. It was like a natural reaction. I was almost kicking everywhere. I was kicking the table. I was just trying to get myself away from the pain, but the pain was my body. It was my lower half. It was my, more like not my lower lady parts. It was above that. It was just a lot of huge cramping pain, which is where the baby was, and it's just, I guess the pressure was just that unbearable. And I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. I know other people who go through childbirth naturally, it didn't feel as bad. They said they didn't feel a thing. And I was just like, man, I don't know. Compared to my first labor, it was torture. I felt like such a weak person because I have such a high pain tolerance. I was like, what is with me? I'm such a punk right now. But it hurt so bad that I swear I cried out like someone kill me. I literally said that. It was that bad. And I'm not trying to scare people away from childbirth, but I was like, oh Lord. I knew it was going to be over eventually, but whatever I said between that hour, I was actually there before she was born. I don't know. I just said anything. So when Miya was born, she did the complete opposite thing that Ava did. Ava was quiet and Miya was crying. And I was like, oh, so we have a mouth on this one. But I mean, it's a good thing when they cry. It means everything is typically okay. I tore less than I did when I had Ava, surprisingly. And Ava was smaller. I don't know really how that works, but surprisingly, because as mentioned before, you can tear between 1 to 4 degrees, partial or full. I did a third full for Ava, and I did like barely a 2nd degree tear this time. And really, the tear, like, I didn't feel it. Like, it was numb down there. They put some numbing stuff. They did the stitching. Everything was done. Miya was out. Miya was healthy. She weighed in at 6 pounds 5 ounces, exactly a pound and an ounce over Ava. Ava was 5 pounds 4 ounces, but she has a full head of hair, just like Ava. Has a little bit more hair than Ava did when she was born, and I don't know. I was so happy she was out, and she was healthy, and she was perfect, and thank God, because labor was horrible. It made me think, because a lot of people told me easy birth, easy baby. So I was like, I don't know. I can't believe, like, I slept through, I guess, all the contractions up until I was about 8 centimeters. Because then I woke up and pretty much 8 centimeters dilated. I was like, jeez. You couldn't give me a little bit more time? Couldn't give mommy a little bit more time to get epidural. And then I had to get epidural from a crazy man. And then I had to get pushed in a wheelchair by a crazy man in the ER. All for you. All's well that ends well. She's worth every ounce of pain. It's been 6 days, like I said, postpartum, and I will give you guys a postpartum belly shot. Let me just put her down in a little monkey sleeper shorts right now, but that's what my belly looks like. Most of the swelling went down, and I'm pretty content with it. I mean, it's not too bad. There's a little bit of something right here, but I mean, there's still a little bit of swelling, but for the most part, I am very happy with that. As you can see, the dark line of pigmentation is still there. I'm sorry, I can't really give you guys a great shot. Let me zoom out. There we go. Woo. You see all the stuff around my desk, but it's not too bad. I'm back into like my small shirts and all that jazz. I have one new stretch mark, which is right below my belly button, but it's a tiny one. It's not too bad. I generally don't mind, especially because it's only been 6 days. The swelling will go down more. Do a couple crunches, tighten it back up. All good. And I have been applying my tummy rub butter at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, just to help the skin, you know, tighten back up. I'm recovering well. The first few days, I guess I was on this like recovering high, and my body wasn't sore whatsoever. I heal really fast. As far as like after birth bleeding, all that, it's almost gone. Like, it's surprising because it can take up to 6 weeks till your body is obviously back to normal, but I bounced back pretty quick. On day 5, I was a little bit more sore. Like, my arms are a little bit more sore. My body's feeling the fatigue of it. So all in all, I'm okay. But I'm glad to be back recording for you guys. I really miss it. There's a lot to do right now, though. Like, right after this, I have to go take care of Miya and then go check on Ava. Ava's doing great, for everyone wondering. She actually is more obsessed with Miya than she is with me, surprisingly. She would rather hug and kiss Miya like crazy than hug and kiss mommy. But she still loves mommy, luckily. But she is being a great big sister. Just a little bit overprotective over Miya. Like, she has to be next to her, and she has to be able to kiss her, and she has to be able to pretend like she's holding her, and my girls. Thank you guys as always for watching me ramble and talk. I'll be back in a later video, guys. Bye. Hey.
You need me to take her?
Well, she's supposed to be in this video, but...
Oh, she is?
Yeah, I'm trying to talk faster than my camera because my battery's died.
Where's the charger?
I don't know. That's why I don't know where the charger is.
Oh, crap, holy.
That's it's already on, like, it said change the battery pack already, so I'm talking as fast as I can.
Alright, let me try to find it.
Can you close the door real quick so I can keep talking?
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Were the lights okay? Or?
That one I couldn't get it to sit down, so I kind of just recorded.
Let's see. But is it,
It was darker on this side when I was doing beauty videos, but because that one I couldn't get it to.
Okay.
We'll fix it later. That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna fix it.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.